Hey, welcome to EPN. My name is Victor Lucas, and we bring you the latest in everything cool every single day. Today from New York Comic-Con, where I was lucky enough to be the moderator of a panel for LEGO DC Supervillains. I had so much fun. But this rundown is dedicated to Graham Coombe, who's one of EPN's newest members. Thank you so much, Graham. As well as Penyuan and the Real Pup Nasty, who both said wonderful things about us. Thanks, guys. Let's get started with your rundown. It looks like a new version of the Nintendo Switch is on the way. The Wall Street Journal reports that Nintendo is working on a new version of the system slated to launch in the second half of 2019. This wouldn't just be a reskin of the existing system with new artwork or colors. According to the Journal's report, the new version will have redesigned hardware with possible changes including a higher resolution screen and longer battery life. This sounds similar to the changes made to the 3DS XL, not to mention what Nintendo's rivals have done with the PlayStation 4 Pro and Xbox One X. Nintendo hasn't confirmed if they're making a new version of the Switch, and given the current sales momentum, don't expect that to change until closer to the new version's release. I think it's kind of inevitable that some kind of Switch Pro is on the way. This doesn't surprise me. It does surprise me that news is leaking out here. Nintendo's pretty good at keeping things pretty top secret until they're ready to talk about it. But, you know, if this is really a rumor that we should all get hyped up and excited about, and if it gets repeated in lots and lots of different ways and places, it might start to impact the sales of the existing Switch. But I still think it's going to be a massive seller this Christmas, and you know, Nintendo's had no trouble selling this machine over the last several months. I, for one, would love a model that would display in 4K, and I would love a better screen on the Switch. That sounds awesome, and some kind of system that protects the screen a little bit better too would be awesome. All right, bounty hunters are the kind of scum that Disney needs to help launch their new streaming service.
Bounty hunters? We don't need that scum.
Yes, sir.
The first official story details about the new live-action Star Wars TV series have been revealed. Producer Jon Favreau has announced that the show is titled The Mandalorian and will focus on a lone Mandalorian gunfighter in the same vein as Boba Fett, but it's unclear if Boba Fett himself will appear. Whether or not Boba Fett appears, it's a safe bet that they'll reuse the character's iconic Mandalorian look given its popularity with fans. The new show and Disney's streaming service launch next year. This is exciting news. I think that we've all seen what Jon Favreau can do when he puts a tough dude in a suit of armor. And, you know, I think we've all had a fascination with Boba Fett and the lore around Mandalorians for a long time. So this is great material for the producers and the directors and the writers to mine. Hopefully the show is solid. I, for one, don't want to see too many, you know, homages to stuff we've already seen in Star Wars. I want it to feel fresh and new. I don't want it to feel like it's a rehash of things, like it's sort of providing a bunch of fan service moments. I want it to feel like we're seeing characters and stories that we really get invested in and really care about. But I trust Jon Favreau. The guy's an incredible filmmaker, and I'm excited as hell to check this out. Now, audiences haven't been won over yet, but DC and Warner Brothers are confident that their new Teen Titans show will be a hit. With the new live-action series Titans set to premiere next week, DC and Warner Brothers have already renewed it for a second season. The show's executive producer Jeff Johns made the announcement, saying that they already have ideas about where to take the story and characters in Season 2, and it will make fans of the Marv Wolfman Teen Titans comics very happy. Titans is just one of several shows that DC is making for their new streaming service DC Universe, but because the service won't be available outside the US, Titans will be streaming on Netflix in Canada and other markets. The show and the streaming service launch a week from tomorrow.
Fuck Batman.
I can't wait to see the premiere. I know that it was actually unveiled here, I think just last night at New York Comic-Con. I haven't heard anything about it because I've been focused on the panel that I had to cover, but I am very excited to see this show, and I hope that it's solid. I hope that it lives up to you know, expectations. I like the casting that they've done so far. I'm not crazy about Starfire's wig, but I think our Robin looks pretty cool and Beast Boy looks pretty cool. I hope it's good, guys. We'll find out very soon. The massive game Cyberpunk 2077 just got one big step closer to completion. Developer CD Projekt Red has inked a deal with Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment to distribute the game in North America. This means Warner Brothers will handle all the boring technical stuff surrounding the release of the game, like printing discs and shipping them to the stores, which means CD Projekt Red will have more time to focus on completing the game itself. They had a similar arrangement with Warner Brothers to distribute their last big games, The Witcher 2 and 3. Cyberpunk 2077 still doesn't have a release release window yet, although CD Projekt Red insists that it will be a current-gen game. We'll have to wait and see if it comes to future consoles. That's a big get for Warner Brothers right there. This is a game that could potentially lead to lots and lots of other exciting sequels for sure, but lots of other extensions of the property. We might see some kind of TV show or movie thing happen, or comic books. The game was heavily hyped coming out of E3. It's one of the games that I think we are all most anticipating coming out on this generation. We're going to continue to say that it's coming out on this generation. We'll take CD Projekt Red at their word, but I still feel like we've got months and months of waiting to do, but you know, it's coming, which is fantastic. The Chronicles of Narnia may have struggled in theaters, but it might have better luck in the world of streaming. Netflix has inked a deal with the estate of author C.S. Lewis to create a new live-action series based on the iconic fantasy novels. This will be a fresh adaptation starting with the first book, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, complete with new actors in all the roles. This obviously isn't the first attempt at adapting the series. The first 3 books were turned into movies in the late 2000s, but despite a strong start, the box office numbers quickly declined, and plans to adapt the remaining books were scrapped. Netflix is hoping that they'll have better luck, likely due to the fact that streaming audiences tend to prefer heavy genre entertainment like fantasy and sci-fi. Their rival, Amazon Studios, is already adapting 2 other big fantasy book franchises, Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time and Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. And yeah, you know what? I kind of dug some of the stuff in the Narnia movies, and I saw that there was an opportunity to go into some pretty cool lore. Some of it was a little bit cheesy, but yeah, I think this is a great series idea for Netflix, and I think absolutely the fantasy stuff is the stuff that we binge. It's superheroes, it's sci-fi, it's fantasy stuff. That's the stuff we get hooked on. You know, obviously regular dramas like House of Cards do really well as well, but I think, you know, when we see great success with the Marvel lineup, we see great success with the Black Mirror show. This is the kind of stuff that we're going to see. I think the big bet is what Amazon is doing with Lord of the Rings, because unlike the C.S. Lewis adaptations, the Tolkien stuff that was put on the big screen that Peter Jackson put together is mostly beloved. I think he went too far with the Hobbit stuff, but those are pretty iconic films. So I think Amazon's got a bigger challenge for itself than Netflix does with the Narnia stuff, but we'll find out very soon. All right, you guys, that's going to do it for our rundown today. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back again tomorrow with a brand new episode right here from New York Comic Con. Make sure you check out some of the other content we've been making, and if you dig it, hit subscribe, that little bell, and if you're so inclined, you can join up and become an EPN member, and we'd love it if you did. Thanks for watching, everybody. Play forever.